right. Well, I just wanted to introduce you guys to Joanna. She is an absolute rock star. She is going to tell you everything that you guys are going to want to know about the new final expense. You need to know about it because it is going to drop like a hot cake here in just a couple days. So, as Christina said, this is going to be a total game changer for you guys, not only for you as agents, but the market, for persistency, and even for clients. So, we are so excited. She's going to jump into this. Um, Something y'all have never seen probably before is when it comes to like the process. I mean, it's very exciting. It makes me want to be an agent again.
Right?
So
You miss it?
I
I
do.
do.
I miss it. So
I do too.
all right. So with no further ado, I'm gonna let Joanna take over. You guys are in the most absolute best hands. So have a great day and let us know how we can help you guys.
Thank you, ladies, so much. We really appreciate you both taking the time.
Of course. So you guys, hopefully, I just want to make sure you can see my screen. And again, I apologize. I don't have a camera on this computer, which is why we're both staring at you through Lindsay's phones, but talking through my headset. So I always want to bring up, just touch on really quickly. You guys know you first bonus. The end of the qualifying time period is November 30th. So that's next month. Once you earn 50,000 you first credits, you will get a $5,000 cash bonus, and that is uncapped, you guys. So it starts at the 5,000 with the 50,000 units. We do have some metrics that you do have to meet, so make sure you watch your 6-month persistency. We want to see 82% or better, 12-month persistency of 70% or better, and of course, a premium applied ratio of 70% or better. I know you guys probably talk about that all the time, so I won't spend a lot of time on that. I'll get into the new product. So, the first question I kind of want to tackle is why a new final expense product and why now? So, first of all, the idea of evolving our final expense into a new form really is continuing the Americo culture of growth and innovation. We are constantly looking for ways to improve our products and our process. Our process, like I maybe this is just me because I'm a little partial, but our products sell themselves. It's our process that we really shine. We have been doing simplified issue for about 20 years, and we started doing instant approval back in 2016. So we actually were the first company to roll out instant approval, and we just continue to make it better every year. We have really taken a look at the market as a whole, inflation, right? Everybody feels it. I don't know what you guys pay for a dozen eggs out there, but it's like $4.30 a dozen here. And we live on the farms that have the eggs. So it's crazy. But the other thing is we got a lot of feedback from our client or our agents just about the ability to make the accidental death benefit an option rather than just having it built in. So we really took a lot of consideration um, in all the feedback that we've gotten from a lot of different angles into this new product, and we're very, very excited. We have, I'm not going to lie, I just feel like Americo has done it again. This application process, you guys, like being an ex-broker. So I don't know if you guys know this or not, but Lindsay and I kind of came up in the same brokerage once upon a time. And oh gosh, this is going to cut your time probably in half doing this application this new way. So we're still going to keep, that quit smoking advantage. We're still going to do the identity and bank checks in the beginning of the application. Um, and we're still doing a true instant decision and instant issue. So some of the key features here. Um, we're going to have 3 benefit levels, and this is going to allow us to accept many, many clients at the lowest available premium. Okay. You guys, upwards of 50% of clients who are currently going Eagle Premier are going to go Select One, which is a lower premium than Eagle Premier currently. Select 2, price-wise, is very comparable to our current Eagle Premier product. And then Select 3 is probably what I'm the most excited about. Upwards of 40% of clients who would get declined from Eagle Premier currently, and you would have to shift gears and go to a guaranteed issue, are now going to get approved for Select 3. We have streamlined our underwriting process. We are taking a broader dive into all of the history. And you guys, so not only does that mean that more clients are going to get approved, but that process is what's going to cut your time writing a policy down, because you no longer are going to have to ask all 23 of those questions in the Eagle Premier application. And, you get on the phone and these clients are like, I said no, like they feel repetitive. So that's going away. There's going to be, and I have a slide that'll show this here in just a minute, that there's going to be kind of a list of ailments when you first get into the application. And if they don't have any of them, you put none of them and you're going to be done with your policy in like 5 minutes. If, let's say, you have diabetes, you click the diabetes box and they have like 2 more questions and that's it. It's amazing. So you don't have to say, like, do you have diabetes? Do you have complications because of diabetes? And they're like, I said no. Like, we did away with that. So lower premiums as well. Like, I'm just this product's going to be amazing. I kind of want to like come out and just sell for a day with you guys. So, the quality that we are maintaining in our processes, right? We're still doing instant underwriting decision. Your policy number is still going to be provided basically immediately when you get into the application. Policies are delivered instantly with that policy e-delivery. You guys can, the box in the tools is going to remain. It's automatically grayed out. If they want a hard copy, you uncheck the box, like where you enter in their email address. Still no amendments and paperwork, unless, of course, you call in because your clients love this product and they're like, you know what, go ahead and raise that face amount because it's so much cheaper. That always creates an amendment. But there doesn't have to be paperwork with amendments either, you guys. We have a verbal amendment phone line if you don't know about it. Commissions are paid daily, so you can write a policy today and get paid tomorrow. And the select options do qualify towards the U-First cash bonus. Now, one of the things that I like to do in my training, because I am an ex-broker, is I like to slip in some agent tips. So for those of you that do not know, I want you to write down these 6 states: Pennsylvania, Louisiana, West Virginia, South Dakota, New Hampshire, and of course, here in crazy Missouri, only if you are a college student. So make a note of that. Missouri, if you are not a college student, does not need a delivery receipt. But if you are, we do. So these are the 6 states that require, it is a state requirement, not an Americo requirement, a policy delivery receipt. So again, that's Pennsylvania, Louisiana, West Virginia, South Dakota, New Hampshire, and Missouri, only if you are a college student. When you are writing and I would apply this to any policies you're writing currently, you guys, when you remember, like you realize that that's the state your client is living in, I would automatically do an e-delivery for their policy, because in those states, when they open their email with their policy in it and they accept the policy, that counts as the delivery receipt. Otherwise, you have to wait for that paper copy to show up to them. They have to sign it and date it, send it to you, you submit it. Like, it just takes even longer. This way, what I do as an agent, I would always, during my wrap up, of course, like thank them for letting me help them. I would give them my name and my phone number, give them their policy number, remind them of the coverage amount, the premium, and what date the premium is drafted from. And then I always asked for a referral. Like, never be afraid of that. Like, I enjoyed getting to know you so well. And if you know anyone that would benefit from talking to me, please share my name and number. I'm happy to help. And then that's your opportunity to be like, now I want you to go into your email and see if you have an email from Americo. That's also your opportunity as an agent to be like, okay, check your spam, because sometimes Your personal emails don't recognize a corporate email. And you can right then and there walk them through opening it, clicking on the link, and accepting the policy. And then in line with our instant everything, that requirement has been met. Okay. Because we all know, let's be real, especially on final expense clients, once you let them off the phone, you may never talk to them again. They may never answer the phone again. That's just how it is. So that would be in those policies, because I do feel like often final expense clients want a hard copy. But I would go ahead, if they are comfortable with email, do the email, walk them through that in those states. And then you can always send an email to agent.services@americo.com, put the policy number in the subject line, and just say, hey, I'd like to request a hard copy get sent to the client as well. But that way the delivery receipt is done. Okay. Now, here's a look at how this product works. The Eagle Select has 3 different benefit levels: 1, 2, and 3. And just a reminder, if you guys didn't know, we are launching this November 6th. Okay, so that's next week. Select 1 is a level death benefit and level premium on day 1. It is available for ages 40 to 85, which is an improvement because it's for both smokers and non-smokers. It used to cut off at 80 for smokers on the Eagle Premier. Your face amount is still the same, so it ranges from 5 to 40,000. Always a non-medical instant decision basis, and it qualifies for the quit smoking advantage. And I'll go through that in just a second if you're not familiar with all the details of the quit smoking advantage. Select 1 is going to be the lowest cost of the 3 levels. And my next slide has a price comparison for you, so I can show you that here in a second. So Select 2 is also a level death benefit and premium from day 1. It is identical to Select 1 in most aspects. However, the smoking age accepted on a Select 2 stops at 75. But if they're a non-smoker, then it's still 85. They do still qualify for the quit smoking advantage on the Select 2, and the premium cost is a little bit higher than Select 1. Your Select 2 is, again, it's more in line with what our Eagle Premier is currently priced at. And then lastly, Select 3 is offered for individuals whose health is not as adequate for a Select 1 or 2, but it's not so poor that they're going to get declined. Select 3 is not a guaranteed issue. Okay, so November 6th, when Eagle Select launches, Eagle Premier and Eagle GI are going to go away. We're no longer going to have a true guaranteed issue. But you guys, literally upwards of 40% of people who would have been declined for the Eagle Premier and had to go to a GI, upwards of 40% of them are now going to be a Select 3. Things are going to start getting through underwriting that weren't before. So you as the agent, it is not your job to quote which option they're going to be. Put the information in the system and let it do its job, because we are taking such a broad look at underwriting that, like I said, things that once were getting declined may not get declined now. And they are taking a lot of different things into consideration, like how long have they had the ailment? How is it being treated? Have they maintained the same dosage of medication? What's it in combination with? So it's too hard to predict that. Let the system do it for you. And just remember, more people are getting approved. So don't be afraid. Don't think that things are going to get them declined, because they may not. Um, so with the Select 3, okay, so this is not a guaranteed issue. It is available though, ages 40 to 75, whereas like our GI starts at 50. So that's a nice option. And it also goes up to 25,000 instead of 15. Now, your Select 3 is a graded death benefit, okay? So it's only 2 years now, whereas a GI was 3. And what we do is a little bit different. So in years 1 and 2, where it's a graded death benefit, if they were to pass away, what will happen is it's ROP, so return of premium, and then it's going to be a percentage of interest based on the number of months the policy's been effective. So if they pass away 18 months in, they're going to get 18 months of premium returned. And then they're going to get 18% interest of the premiums paid, not the face amount, guys. Clients always ask me that. So and then it's an additional interest on what they've paid. Year 3 and beyond, 100% of the face amount. So that is wonderful. Again, select 3, not available California or Washington. They have those funny rules. So we can't do it there. Excuse me. You'll be able to see a product availability guide once we get closer to the 6th. All this, like you're going to have the product availability guide, the agent guide. There is actually, and I have a slide of it, an underwriting, like a little tips sheet that'll go onto your agent portal, all of it. So here's that comparison price chart, okay? We're going to say this is a $10,000 policy, male, non-smoker. So for a select 1, you can see the price difference, almost $10 less than what our Eagle Premier would be right now, okay? Select 2 is closer to what our Eagle Premier is now. But look at the difference between Select 3 and GI. That's a huge price difference. And again, that's that upwards of 40% who would have had to go to a GI are now going to get approved at a Select 3. So not only are we going to approve more people, we're going to give them a lower price. And you get to do it in half the time, which always makes me happy. So here is what the illustration looks like. So I just want to give you guys a heads up. When you go in to agent tools, so you're going to go into tools just like you do now. You run a quote and then that leads you into the application. When you're in agent tools, it's going to give you a quote and it's only going to show you the price for a select 1. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on view report and look at the illustration. And this is where you're going to see all 3 prices. So here you can see select 1, 2, and 3. Again, we do not expect any agents to be able to predetermine what level a client's going to be, right? We all know clients are like, yeah, I'm perfectly healthy. And then it never, I mean, I can't tell you how many clients I had. They're like, yeah, no, I'm perfect. Never had anything. And then you get to the HIV question. They're like, yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry. What? Like it happens. So here is where if you want to tell them like select 1, 2, and 3, it's a possibility, or we all have different styles as agents. So you could be like, for $10,000, we're looking anywhere from 36 to $50 a month. Or when I was still a broker, I did have a company that did kind of do different levels like this. Like there's a few of them out there that do it. And I feel like once you kind of become a tenured agent and you get really familiar with your products, you sort of know. And so when someone would be on the edge and I wasn't 100% sure, I might quote that select 2 and then be like, shout out to your health, Miss Jones. We just got you approved for a cheaper premium. And then take the win, you guys. Take it. Take the praise. Like they'll be so excited. And then when you ask for that referral at the end of your conversation, they're going to tell everybody. So take the win. This is just page 2. So you could see the cash values on the select 3 as well. And then for those of you that don't know about our Quit Smoking Advantage, you guys, this is such a cool program. So we know statistically that when someone quits smoking for a minimum of 12 months, they're less likely to go back to it. So we want, even the question on the application is, have you used nicotine products in the last 12 months? So when you say, are you a smoker? They may say, no, I quit back in April. Well, you guys, the question is 12 months. So you do still need to put yes to tobacco, but they're going to get the non-nicotine rate for the first 3 years until they have quit for 12 consecutive months. Now, because it's you guys, I'm just going to be really honest with you. They could change how they test for it. At one point, I know it was a saliva test. I think currently we send them somewhere to do a urine test. It changes. Heaven forbid something like COVID happens and we all shut down again and like who knows what we'll come up with. So the best thing to do if a client asks you like how do we prove that I've quit for 12 months, literally they can email customer.service@americo.com or call our 800 number and get over to policyholder services. And if it's something that we're currently like setting something up at a location and they need to go, we will do that and advise them. If it's something where we're sending something to them to test at home and they mail it to a lab, we will do that for them. So just tell them to contact policyholder services because we don't want to tell them the wrong thing. And I don't want to like set an unrealistic expectation. So they do have to have the policy though, and I get a lot of questions on this for 12 consecutive months. So if they had quit in April and you wrote the policy now, they've quit for 6 months, but they need to have the policy for 12 months. So once they've had it for that year, they contact policyholder services, they lock in that non-tobacco rate, okay? If they do not quit in that 3 years, or they do not communicate that they have quit, they have a couple of different options, okay? Here's an example of a male that's age 65, uses nicotine. We're going to say they purchase a $10,000 policy, and this is a select one for 54.15. Okay. So same rate as the non-nicotine. At the end of the 3 years, there's three different possibilities. In the first scenario, the client quits using nicotine and communicates. They lock in that non-tobacco rate. Okay. Stays the same, face amount stays the same, premium stays the same. In the second case, the client does not quit using or they don't communicate that they quit using tobacco. The premium will stay level at 54.15, but their face amount will adjust to match the nicotine rate. So the way I explain it to my clients is I say, after at the beginning of that fourth year, if you don't quit smoking or you don't communicate that you quit smoking, you have two options. You can keep your premium the same or you can keep your face amount the same. And then you tell them because you'll be able to quote in that illustration what the nicotine prices would be. So if that $54 is what's most important, then the policy is going to drop to $54.24. If that $10,000 death benefit is what's important, then fair warning, it's going to be $96.63. The nice thing, and I love this little detail, is that if they did a $10,000 death benefit, okay, but the premium is what is important to them. So we want to keep it at the 54.15 a month. So then they don't quit smoking or they don't communicate that they quit smoking. So then it's going to lower that death benefit because if they chose to have the accidental death benefit, because we don't change that after a policy is issued, if they lower the face amount to match a smoker's rate, the accidental remains at the 10,000 because that's what it was issued at. So that I love that. So even if they lowered their face amount to 5,424 because at the time of issue the accidental rider was set at 10,000, it remains at 10,000. Here is where you can see the drop in death benefit or the price change. You just see it when you're running that quote. So as previously mentioned, accidental death can be added. It is select 1 and 2 only, okay? It's not available for select 3. It is a small additional cost. They don't choose the amount of accidental death benefit. It is always equal to the initial face amount of the policy. What I love about this, and you guys may be familiar, but we have a common carrier rider. And I always, in my discovery with my clients, I always like, oh, do you guys travel? What do you do? And that's where I get to talk about the common carrier rider. And I always joke and say, because at Americo, we know that you have to work your whole life to be able to afford to travel. So um, what it is if someone is on a common carrier and there is an accident and they pass away as a result, the common carrier is added right in with the accidental if they choose it, and it is an additional rider for, again, the face amount upon issue. So the way I describe it to my clients is if you have a $10,000 policy and you pass away due to an accident, it's going to pay double. So you walk out in front of a bus, That's an accident. You step out of the shower, slip and hit your head, that's an accident. Heart attack, not an accident, guys. So accidental, your policy is going to pay double. But if you are a fare paying passenger on a common carrier, which is defined as having a published schedule, and there's an accident, you pass away, now your policy is going to pay triple because you had a $10,000 policy, you passed away due to an accident, and you passed away on a cruise ship, you're getting 10, 10, and 10. So 30,000. So that really common carrier, you guys, and the reason they define it as fare paying and published schedule. If your job is to drive a city bus and you get in an accident and pass away while you're at work, that does not count. But if you were riding the bus and there was an accident, you passed away, that would count. So if you have purchased a ticket and then the published schedule again helps define common carrier. So if you charter a yacht, that is not a common carrier. But if you pass on a cruise ship as a passenger, that is a common carrier. And I always kind of use that as my example. So we're still going to have the child and grandchild rider as well. And this is available for select 1, 2, and 3. It's only $1 per child per month for 5,000 in coverage. You can have up to 10 kids per policy or grandkids. So if you have one of those fantastic grannies that is like, I have 18 grandchildren and probably has the best Christmases and Thanksgivings ever because they have that big of a family, then guess what? We write a policy for granny and grandpa because then granny can take 10, grandpa can take 8, and you've got all 18 covered. It is level insurance and it covers the child until their 25th birthday. When they turn 25, we consider them an adult. They really need to carry their own policy. And the last age that a child can qualify is 16. Once they turn 17, they no longer qualify. I think the verbiage in our like agent guide is a little confusing on that because it says children, I think it says up to the age of 17 or under the age of the way it's worded is funny. 16 is the oldest they can be to still add them. We're just going to make it simple. So additional benefits that are automatically included. So for select 1 and 2, there is a accelerated death benefit. You guys are already familiar with this. We already have it. So if a doctor advises that a client has 12 months or less before they pass away, they can withdraw up to 50% of the death benefit. It's nice because we just cut the check to them. It doesn't have to go to like a doctor or a nursing home or anything like that. It can be used for travel, treatment, medication. I remember back when Lindsay and I were at the same brokerage, a client actually did do that and he took his grandkids to Disney World because that's what he wanted them to remember. So, I mean, they can do what they want. Accidental death provision, not a rider, provision. This is on our select 3 only. This is very common to the way our guaranteed issue works now. If they pass away due to an accident during that first 2 years of graded, we'll go ahead and pay the full face amount. So that really isn't changing. Now this is that Streamlined underwriting. This is that screen that I told you you're going to get towards the beginning, okay? These are not knockouts. This is not a guaranteed decline. So you're going to, like I said, if a client says, no, none of this, great. None of it applies to me. You're going to move on. You're going to set a date. You're going to get some beneficiaries and some banking account information, and you're going to be done. But if they do have something, like I said, I used diabetes earlier. If they marked diabetes, look at that. 2 more questions, you guys. 2. That's it. Data diagnosis. I just want to point this out because I've had a lot of agents ask me about this during some of my trainings. Clients don't remember. I don't remember, right? I'm 40. I don't remember. Like if you were like, when did you start having thyroid problems? I'm like, I don't know, somewhere around 30. I don't know. Clients are not going to be like March 16th of 1972. Like, no. So use an estimated data diagnosis. If they're like, I don't know, probably 6 years ago, do an estimate, it's not going to get them declined if it is a certain amount of time or if it's incorrect. So, okay. So don't panic when you see that. Here is that underwriting tip guide. This is going to be on your agent portal. We do, for all of you that are tenured agents, there are knockout conditions. We all know it, and that's with anyone. Okay. So, I mean, Parkinson's, ALS, Alzheimer's, dementia, like those cognitive issues, like we know that's a decline. Okay. Underwriting our build chart. So, our height and weight still going to be on here, still very generous. Like someone who's 5'4" can be up to 247 pounds, still very generous. And that's going to be in your agent portal as well. So I want to talk about this for a minute here. When the e-application, so this is what the screen is going to look, it's going to be similar. We might have changed some wording on this because Lindsay and I know at one point we felt like saying option 1 and option 2 was kind of confusing. So we may change the wording, but it's going to look similar to this. When the e-application identifies the proper options, a box like this will appear, and these options could be a change in smoking status or a change to select 2 or 3 based on the information indicated on the application thus far. Notice that the offer box does not say, unfortunately, you do not qualify for select 1 rates, nor does it say, congratulations, you're approved for coverage. At this point in the process, the options are starting to be narrowed down. We don't want to create any negativity by pointing out that a lower rate may have been missed. Instead, we want to provide options based on the information presented to us up to that point. The client can accept one of these options and proceed through the application to receive a final decision at the end. Information used to determine these options is indicated at the bottom. So it's always going to be some combination of health questions, information from the health databases, meaning like MIB, Milliman. But at this point too, if someone says, oh my gosh, I can get 10,000 for 44.42, I can afford that. What would be 15,000? Currently on Eagle Premier, if you try to go back, you guys probably know it's all
What's
grayed
going on,
out.
love? How you doing?
um,
Sorry about that.
That's
We got
okay.
unmuted out.
That's okay. So, now in the Eagle Premier, if you went back, it's grayed out. You can't change the amount. You have to withdraw and totally start over. So annoying. Nope. You can go back. If they're like, you know what? Let's do the 15,000. I can afford that. There you go. You can do it and then come back to this page. What you will not be able to change is like the identification or like checking like verification information because that's already been verified. But you can change like the face amount. So just to sort of ease your mind too, at this point, because I get a lot of questions about this, this is based on what we're seeing currently because the systems are still running in the background at this point. So this is what we're like prepared to offer before you get that final signature, because you know how you guys have to do it twice, the texting code, before you get that final signature, you will see the final offer because we cannot have them do that final text or email code and then change it. Because when they do that final signature, that's them accepting the offer. So you will see it before you get there. You will know in advance. Don't worry about that. So agent tools is not changing. You're still going to get to your application through agent tools just like we do now. It's going to look just the same, except it's going to all of a sudden on November 6th, it's going to say Eagle Select. I want to just point a few things out because I don't know how tenured all of you are that are on here, but if you look at the picture in the background, there is a red banner across the back, okay? That red banner indicates that you're in the demo site. And let me tell you, when you're in the demo site, everybody gets approved and nobody gets paid. So do not accidentally submit a policy in the demo site because the information does not transfer. You would have to rewrite it in the live agent tools. Also, in the demo site, I would suggest once you see this come up and go live, I would go ahead and write a policy on yourself in the demo site, because that's where you can put your own email or phone number in. That way you get the messages and you can see what it's going to look like, so that if you're live on the phone with a client and they're always like, I got a text, I don't see a code, you can walk them through. The thing I will warn you about is in the live agent tools, do not practice, because that is actually running MIB. And you don't want those dings on a client's history. And do not, I repeat, do not ever put your phone number or your email in for those text signatures. That is considered signing for the client. That is fraud. Compliance will catch it and it will be a problem. So don't do that. Save us all the hassle. Okay. You guys know we launched our client portal. So these are going to be available on the customer portal. This is something you can always suggest to your client as well. Let's say they lose their policy. They can always create a portal and see it there. They can update banking information through the portal. They can change beneficiaries if they want through the portal. It's a really great, I'm so glad we launched this within the last year and it's been amazing. So I talked about verbal amendments. And I just went right past it. I'm sorry. So if a client needs to update banking information or do a verbal amendment, we have a phone line that is specifically for that. So it's not the 800 number that you guys call to get to policyholder services or agent services. If you call 855-248-8327, this stays in line with our instant everything. You don't have to call in with the client to do this, but I do as an agent, just because I feel like I can make sure they're pressing the right prompts. I can make sure it gets done and it gets done right. So I would have the client already on the phone, call this number. It's going to put you through to a live person, and they are going to record the client either agreeing to the disclosures that they have to read for the amendment, or they have to provide their updated banking information, and then we have to do a disclosure where they're authorizing drafts from that account. So again, 855-248-8327. Option 2 is verbal amendments and option 3 is banking. And that's going to put you through to a person. So option 2, amendments, option 3, banking. And then of course, you guys know we have our 800 number for agent services. Honestly though, I mean, Marisa and Christina, I think you're the only two on here who have met me. You know that my probably worst quality is that I am not patient. So I do not want to sit on hold. I would send an email to agent.services@americo.com if you are checking on the status of a policy, if you are checking on any kind of licensing or your commissions, because those aren't things that you need an answer to right away. Just shoot an email to agent.services. Make sure you put a policy number in the subject line, and then just make sure you put like your agent writing ID and your full name somewhere in the email, and then let them answer you guys. That email team is phenomenal. There is a team of people down in agent services that do nothing but answer emails. They will answer same day as long as you submit before 3 p.m. Central Time. And usually they say it's within like 1 or 2 hours, but I've seen answers as fast as 20 minutes. So don't sit on hold.
We go, beast mode, get dough, ain't no cheat code. Big dog, cheat code, free smoke, game time, we score.